All right, guys, in this video here, I want to talk about your Instagram bio, right? Because I know a lot of you guys do a lot of stuff on Instagram. For a lot of gyms, it's the primary place that they're posting their regular media type content, right? Like videos and images and stuff like that. And a lot of gyms, I think, can actually improve their lead gen coming from Instagram. So we just think about the most essential thing, and that's that, like, if someone sees us on Instagram, what's the goal of it? The goal is to get them to like join as a member, right? Like that's what we're trying to do. We're posting this stuff on Instagram so we can ultimately generate a lead, and they come in as a member. Maybe we post some of our stuff for our existing members on here too, but ultimately the goal of posting on Instagram is to, we're projecting this to the outside world so other people will see it and so they take an interest. Now, if we think about how Instagram works, what do people do on Instagram if they are interested in the product the poster is selling? Well, you can't click links in the body of an email of the content of here on Instagram, right? So the only place a link works on Instagram is in the comment or the bio section of Instagram, right? So if someone is seeing you on Instagram a lot and they're primarily an Instagram user, they're not on Facebook, they're not on other platforms, they're just on Instagram, it's primarily where they hang out. Where they're going to go if they're interested in you is to here, right? And ideally, we want to make it so they don't have to go to another platform to find out about us, right? Like this gym here, Deep River Fit here, I'm clicking on theirs. They're not a client of ours, and I go to their, they do all this posting. They make all this effort. It looks like they're posting stuff probably every day. Great photos, high quality. And when I'm here, it's got home of Deep River, CrossFit Deep River, Be Bold, Come As You Are. Not really a call to action. You should have a call to action up here, like, sure, have your slogan and then say, click the link below to get started, right? Like, because if they click through to your profile from your imagery, we might all think that this is common sense stuff, but it's not. People need to be told what to do, and like they should know that, like, when they see your profile, like they don't know, are you just posting this stuff for your existing members, or are you posting this so I, as someone looking at it, can join as a member too? And like they need to feel invited, right? So like when they go to your Instagram profile, like there should be a third line here that's like call to action, get started below. And then this should be a link ideally right to your website, right? This should go right to your website. Now, a lot of gyms will put all kinds of other stuff here. Like this here is a link for, it looks like a Wodify Live event coming up for this gym for a birthday party. So this is obviously for members, and anybody else who sees all these posts in the meantime, there's no real way for them to opt in for this gym or go check this gym stuff out. They're going to have to go Google search it. And most people aren't that good at Googlers. Let's be honest. Like, we're really leaving it up to chance of whether or not a person who lands on this bio is going to join, right? And then if I were to go down the feed here and go to another one here, let's see, Elevate Fitness VA. Let's click on theirs. Okay, so theirs here has 24-hour gym, group classes, personal training, health coaching. First week is free, military first responder discount. Still no call to action to tell them what to do next. Here, it's just kind of listing off their services. That's cool. It's not bad if you want to do that, so people know what you offer. First week is free, kind of making an offer there in the headline. That's cool if you want to do that. I don't think it's necessarily, if you think that's, but if you're gonna make an offer, make a call to action, right? Like first week is free, click below to get started, right? Like tell people what to do again. Now this one has a link tree. Now link trees really get me because like a lot of gyms have link trees, and the link tree, again, the goal is to remove friction for the lead. So if they go to your bio to figure out how to get started and they click a link tree, their eyes are pretty much going to go to the top first. The top first, like again, okay, so SIP C3, healthy happy hour business opportunity. Now, if I don't know what that is, I'm just like, okay, whatever. I'm just going to feel like I'm out of the loop, right? If I'm someone who doesn't know what's going on in this gym, and I haven't been watching your posts, and I click here and I see this, it kind of makes me feel like, is this a cool kids club? I don't really know what that means. Shop supplements, like I'm just considering joining your gym. Why do I want to shop supplements, right? And then finally, there's the website, right? So like the third thing that's like, first thing is always first. If you're going to use a link tree, the very first link there absolutely needs to be like your get started button, like to your website, right? Like that needs to be number one. Not, SIP C3 happy hour business opportunity, not shop supplements. And don't clutter this so much, right? Like meet your coaches. Like why people don't, I guarantee you, if you looked at this, because I think on Leaktree you can see what the click through rate is on these things. I guarantee you the click through rate on Meet Our Coaches is like 1%. So like, why even have it in there? Why have more things to distract the person, the lead, the person who's considering joining your gym? Why have more things to distract them, right? Book in personal and online personal training, okay. Family app, article on Amanda, okay. And it's kind of an article on her. I guess it's kind of cool. But I would just try to keep this stuff super simple. You don't, it's like, you already probably, I guarantee if I go to their website, I bet you they have the same stuff all over their website. Yeah, you go to the website and they have like a million other things to click on. So it's like right away, you're giving them 7 things to click on. They go to their website and then there's, 6 more things to click on. Just a lot of, if I'm the person considering joining this gym, it's like not super clear to me how I get started. And it's really confusing, right? So if I go back to Instagram, let's just keep going. I'm just going to click some other ones here. Right here. So Side Yard, she's an active client right now. Let's see what Shireen's got going on. I'm going to pick on Shireen a little bit. Hopefully she doesn't mind. So Shireen's got to get her call to action up here. Says what she does and where she does it. That's great. Really, that's what it should say. Like, really, honestly, if you guys are a BLG client, you can literally just borrow what the top line of what your BLG website says is who you are, what you do, where you do it, and a call to action. And then, use an emoji to point down to the link. And if I click on her link, let's see what it does. Look at that, website number 1, right? And what she could probably just do is, again, on your website, on this one here, it says Side Yard CrossFit Training website. I'd probably just put like get started at Side Yard CrossFit right here instead of like Side Yard Training CrossFit website, because they know it's going to take them to the website. You don't need to say website. So I would make this a call to action. And then she's got so she's doing this right. So she's got things in the right order, and she's a BLG client. So that's probably why, is because she does the right things. If I keep going, 797. I'm not sure if these guys work with us or not. Let's take a look. So they got more info, and there goes to a start page. Okay, so that's and it goes to a Linktree pretty much. And that one says free intro. And if I click on it, what does it do? Takes me to this is a BLG site. So they are a BLG gym. So they're doing it right. So there's goes to literally the join now. There's for every website that we build for our gyms, if you go to get-started or join-now extension on your website, it'll take you to a landing page like this that has no header on it, which I really like, because when you're coming off of Instagram, like they don't want to, like they're on Instagram, they're literally scrolling like a million miles per hour. They're not looking at anything for more than like 5 seconds at a time. So if they happen to click through your bio and click through your website, you maybe have like 10 seconds with that person. So by using the start page, which they probably could just get rid of this link tree and just have it take them right to the website. Right to this is what I would have them do. I don't really like the link trees, because again, it's just you're hitting the lead who's interested in checking out your gym with a bunch of choices, right? You're like that provides friction, right? If I have to see a bunch of things, my eyes have to sort through that and be like, where do I get started? And there's a bunch of stuff. It just disorients me, right? So if I can just send them right to a page that pretty much makes a call to action like this and has a form right on it where I can get started, it eliminates the choice. Like, this is what you're doing, click below, and get started, right? Super, super easy. So they're doing a fantastic job. Shout out to CrossFit 797. They are an active gym with us. I don't know how I managed to not know that, but I'm not surprised that their stuff is done right and they work with us. And if I go down a little further, let's pick one more, right? So these guys work with us, CrossFit Away. I already know that they're doing it right. Let's see here. CrossFit SoloView, they work with us. Let's see if they are doing it right. Let's take a look. So right here, and they go to the Murph Challenge, right? So there we go. Probably not the best way to do this, CrossFit Solo Feed. They might be really, I know he's a military guy, probably super passionate about the Murph Challenge. I think that's amazing that it's here. But I would say in this case, if you really have to include the Murph Challenge, get a link tree on here, put the website number 1, put the Murph Challenge second, right? Like, this is your most, on Instagram, this is your most valuable real estate is the link right here, because that's the only way they end up in your funnel. The only way that someone ends up in your funnel off of Instagram is if they go to the bio and they click that link. And by then they're already 3 clicks deep, right? Think about it. They clicked on your post. It says go to the link in bio. That's 1. They click your bio. It opens up your bio, and then they click the link to open up your website. They're already 3 clicks in by the time they're looking at your website, and now they still got to make a couple more clicks to get started, right? Every one of those clicks especially when it takes them off the platform, is like a break in their, it's a pattern interrupt in their mind, and it's a little bit of a hurdle, right? So like we want to minimize the number of clicks, right? With this one here, they don't even have the link on here. They just have the Murph Challenge link, and they really should, instead, if they really want to put these extra events on there, then in that case, do get a link tree, right? Get a link tree and do like Shireen's doing here at Sideyard. Put the website number one with a call to action, and then put your other things below it. Always make sure your website stays number one, because again, like especially on mobile, their eyes go from the top down, and like if you hide the website in the middle of all that, it's sandwiched in there, like, and they start clicking on other stuff, like you just run the risk of losing them, and it's too important to make it frictionless, right? So it's super important that this be done the right way. Let's see if I can find another one doing it the wrong way. CVI, I don't know if these guys work with us. I want to find someone I don't know. I know for sure does not work with it. CrossFit Lex, I don't know who these guys are. Let's click on it. So CrossFit Lex, okay, they got the link tree. Looks like they're in Europe, Frankfurt, Germany, I'm guessing. If I click on it, what do they have going on here? Beginner class, free training session, prices, homepage. So I like this. The only thing is like this pretty much does the exact same thing as a website. Like, why have a website to take you to your website? Because I click this, what's it going to do? It's going to open up their website. Oh, it's going to open up Wodify. Okay, so I don't like this, right? So someone clicks beginner class, because you make that the first option. They're probably going to click that. They go here, and right away you're like, $30, start date. I'll create an account. Like, my goodness. This is way too much friction for someone who's just considering getting started at your gym. Like, just like rather than take them to sell them a beginner class, why not just take them to a basic opt-in form on your website and collect their information? Because now, say I'm here and I see this, and I'm like, I got to give you my email address. I got to create a Wodify account. I got to pay $30 just to get started just to have a conversation about your gym. When like, if I were to just send them to the homepage of my website and they were to opt in there and I could have a conversation, at least now, if they bounce out of that process anywhere, like I'm about to here, if I'm a lead considering starting and I see this, I'm leaving the page. And now like CrossFit Lex here has no chance of like following up with me because I'm not filling any of this out. Because this is like just pushing me away, right? Like I'm like, okay, I just was trying to get started, right? So like, they pretty much used a link tree to build a website, because all like they just got prices, training session, homepage, all this stuff. What does prices do? Okay, it takes me to a page full of prices, right? Which I don't know why CrossFit is $135 a month, and I get here and you just give me what looks like a menu. That's like assuming I know the difference. I'm bouncing, right? Like, and we've tested this, just so you guys know. Like, this isn't me making stuff up. Like, I've owned 2 gyms, and we do this with hundreds and hundreds of gyms. Like, pricing pages like this have like a 99.8% bounce rate, which means this is where they leave your website and don't come back. And we've tracked this with Google Analytics. Posting your pricing like this without context, and even if you had context, there's no way you can build enough context unless you want to build like an entire video sales letter page to like literally break down the value of why it's worth what it's worth. You really stand no chance of like selling anybody anything here, and them understanding why it's worth what it's worth. What you're better off doing is having a place to opt in for them to receive your current pricing via like text message or email. That way, if they want to request that information, they can get it. What's great is in exchange for giving them that information, you have a way to follow up with them and carry the conversation, because now you can build context. Now you could say pricing depends on what your goals are. It depends on how many days a week you're going to train, and it depends on a lot of variables, including what results you're after. So what results are you after? Now, you might be thinking, I only have one pricing option. It doesn't vary based on their results. Either way, like, you should not start the conversation that way. If you just say, this is my price, and like they're like, okay, no, like, where do you go from there? Like, it's a dead end, right? So it makes better sense for you to open the conversation up based on what their results are, because that's what you should be having a conversation with your lead about anyways, right? You should be searching for context. What results are you after? What are you hoping to accomplish? Let me make sure that we're the right fit for you first before we even talk about pricing. And then once they tell you what their goals are, okay, I'm looking to lose weight, gain muscle, improve performance, one of those things, you could say, oh, that's great. When are you available to come down to the gym to talk about the current membership options so we can find the one that best fits your goals? We have something for everybody. We don't lose customers based on price. I have availability for you for tomorrow and Friday, which works better for you, right? Just go for the appointment. Take the assumptive close. Stop trying to have these conversations and sell people stuff when all you're trying to do is just get their interest, right? Like when they're looking at your website, they're in the interest and consideration phase. They're not in the purchasing phase. For a gym, the purchasing phase happens in person. I don't know many gyms out of the hundreds we've worked with that have tried to do this, that are actually selling memberships in volume through their website. So all this really serves to do is push people away. So like, this does not make sense, right? And plus, again, like this just does what the website does. So like, why do we have this? Why don't we just, instead of having a link tree, why not just send them directly to the website where they can opt in right away and get more information? The goal is to generate a lead, right? And like a lot of people are busy trying to sell people stuff when it's like, we're just trying to generate a lead. Selling someone something is another stage down the funnel. And if we just generate more leads, we'll have more opportunities to sell people stuff. We'll ultimately close more leads, right? So like, again, just, be smart about what you do with this real estate. So that's it for today. I wanted to cover this with you guys and make sure that you are best using that real estate in your Instagram, in your Instagram bio, so you can use Instagram properly, because a lot of gyms don't generate a lot of leads from Instagram, but they spend an enormous amount of time in creating content and pushing content out on Instagram. And then they'll be like, why don't I get a lot of leads from Instagram? It's like, well, because you don't have it set up for lead generation. And like, sure, maybe this is a place that you celebrate member wins. Maybe there's some internal stuff going on here that you're doing for retention, but like, why are you posting it on a public place where most people are going to see it are going to actually be people who are not members of your gym? You should be setting this up to where it can convert that traffic, right? Because if people are seeing it, they're curious. And if they see something they like, they're going to want to take the next step, but they want it to be easy, because like no one wants to start someplace where like it feels like it's really, really hard to even get started. If it's hard to get started, they naturally assume it's going to be hard to continue doing it. And in that case, like they're just not going to take the leap. So that's it, guys. Let me know your thoughts, questions, concerns, comments, things that you've done to improve your lead generation on Instagram, doing some of the things that I've talked about.